Hey, it's your man B, and I am the brand. We reading these books like some Harry Potter fans. We got sci-fi, fantasy, and black lit too. So sit down for the drum call book review. Yeah.
Strong muscles, baby.
Hey. Yo, what's up, everybody? This your man B. I am the brand, coming to you with the drum call book reviews once again. This week we got a good selection for you. You know, I stay with the good selections. I got Alexander Dumas's The Vicomte of Bragelonne. I got the African short stories for you by Chinua Achebe. And then to top it off, I got the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Yeah, so we about to get right into it. You know, really good books. So yeah, check it out. Check it out. I'm saying, I got the Vicomte of Bragelonne for you by Alexander Dumas. One of the books in the series of the Three Musketeers.
The Musketeers are finished.
Not entirely. There are three.
That, and you know, the great black writer Alexander Dumas is the creator of that series. So you have he was born in 1802 in France, and great fact is that his dad was a black general within the French army. The General Thomas Alexander Dumas David de la Pietri. I hope I said that right. So he was actually the first black general. First, he was a brigadier general, then a divisional general, and then he became the general-in-chief of a French army. So he was a very well-respected dude, you know. So that means he probably knew of Toussaint Louverture at the time, who as well was a general in the French army. And it's hard to, you know, ignore what was going on in Haiti if you were a French citizen, especially if you were a French citizen in the army. So Alexander Dumas, he would have grew up in a leisurely background, you know, upper class, among the aristocracy of the time, officials, political officials, military officials, and would have probably had one of the best educations that one can get in France. So by the time he was 28 with all of this, you know, his imagination was going wild, and he started writing. So by the time he was 28, he was one of the most popular authors in the world, one of the most popular literary figures in the world. And at that time, you know, literary figures was like the celebrities, and he was a playboy, you know what I'm saying? So he got around at the time. But like I said, he was a great author. He's purportedly wrote over 650 other novels, and that's including like the Three Musketeers, A Count of Monte Cristo. I'm sure you heard of The Man in the Iron Mask. This book right here is probably, it takes place like 10 years before the Man in the Iron Mask. Most of his books, just like this one, takes place in the 17th century France, so 40 years after the exploits of the Three Musketeers. So we first learned about them around in the 1620s.
When we were young men and we saw injustice, we fought it.
This part of the story takes place around 1660, and it has Louis XIV. He's on the throne, and he's being influenced by Cardinal Mazarin. Louis XIV isn't old enough to outright rule, so, you know, he has his people in his cabinet that helps him. And what happens is Cardinal Mazarin ends up dying, and it becomes a power struggle for that influence within Louis' cabinet members. So it's Jean-Baptiste Colbert, which is the finance minister, and then you have the superintendent of finances, Nicolas Fouquet, which is who I really vying for that influence with Louis the 14th. Also, you have Louis's allies, or one of his allies, Charles II of England, being deposed from the throne, and you know, it's a lot of politics and bureaucracy that goes on in the book revolving around this theme. You know what I'm saying? And with the Three Musketeers,
Athos, Porthos, and Aramis. Name boy.
D'Artagnan.
you have Athos. You know, he's a county of a little, you know, country, not a country, but like a little of some land. He's like I guess you could say a duke. You know what I'm saying? A duke of a certain part of France, of a territory. And you have his son, which is Raoul. He's pretty much the Vicomte of Bragelonne, which is some land, and he's in the services of the French government. You know, and his dad Athos wants him to be more involved. But however, Raoul has he has other ideas, you know what I'm saying? He's falling in love with this chick that he met through the embassy of a royal wedding that was going on, and he had to watch over, and he ended up meeting this chick, what's her name? Louise de la Valle. He ended up meeting her, falling in love with her, but whole time Louis the 14th got his eye on her, and he like, man, I want her. And so Louis the 14th ended up snagging her up before, you know, from Raoul. So Raoul is, you know, he dealing with this throughout the book, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the things, and then, you know, it ends in tragedy at the end. But throughout this, you know, through the power struggle, you have the Musketeers, who are pretty much retired in most of their careers. You have Aramis, who's he's a bishop now. He's the Bishop of Vannes, and he's looking towards the papacy. So that's what he has his eyesight for. And then you got Porthos. He's just living good, married into a rich family. Then you got D'Artagnan, who is actually still in the services of the king, which is Louis the 14th. And what happens is you have Aramis, all of them are helping out, you know, these different figures within the government, because they believe that whoever they choose as influence is right for the empire. So
now we know that some problems cannot be solved with a sword.
And some can't be settled without one.
you know, you got Aramis and Porthos involved with helping out Nicolas Fouquet shore up his island, Belle Island. You have John. You got you know, D'Artagnan trying to find out what's going on between his ministers and stuff, and then, you know, he finds out about Porthos and Aramis, and
We're in a tomb.
helping out the Fouquet. And so it's like, you know, loyalties come to bear, and you know, it's a lot of politics and betrayal throughout the whole book. But you know, their values, their morals comes through at the end. So like I said, it's a really good book to look at. You know, 17th century society, aristocracy in France or in Europe. It taught me, you know, a few little French phrases like mordieu, which is a curse, you know, or vive le roi, long live the king, ma foi, indeed. It's, like I said, it's a really good book. And you know, it spawned a lot of great movies, you know, great books. So, you know, Alexander Dumas is the man, and check him out whenever you can. Hey.
One for all for one.